Well, hello everyone.
Hello.
It's Soph and Rach bringing you another episode of the It's Not Just You podcast.
Here we are.
And today we are addressing a beast of a topic.
Yeah, we're talking all things 20s.
We're talking about the 20s and we're just going to jump straight in because there's a lot to cover. There's a lot of ground to cover.
Yes.
So if you're in your 20s, buckle in.
We're both 24, just to give context.
24, Soph's nearly 25.
Yeah.
Well, not nearly, but like in February.
Yeah.
And I will be 25 in June. So we're mid-20s. Oh my gosh, mid-20s. Literally mid-20s, 25. But we're currently 24.
Fine. That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's young.
Yeah, if you're in your 20s, this one's for you.
Yeah.
Or even maybe if you're coming into your 20s.
Yeah.
Or if you've just left your 20s, it might still
It's
be.
for everyone.
It's for everyone.
This episode is for everyone. But yeah, should we do the title?
Go on.
Okay, so the title of this week's episode is going to be, It's Not Just You who've... I've just messed that up. Let me start again. It's not just you who feels confused about what you should be doing in your 20s. That is what we're going to be discussing and chatting about today on the pod. So essentially, we did a question box on our Instagram on the story, and lots of people put
20s.
Yeah, talk about 20s, talk about the life stages, the difference in life stages, comparison with friends. What should I be doing? One person's telling me this, that. It's just a confusing time.
Should I be traveling the world, seizing the moment?
Yeah,
should I
carpe diem.
be buckling down and getting on with my career and grinding?
Yeah.
Should I be getting married and starting a family?
Yeah, or should I be single, free to do what I want?
Single and living it up?
Yeah.
Should I be renting? Should I have bought a house? Like, it just goes on
How
and
should I spend my money?
and on.
Should I save it?
Yeah.
Should I spend it?
Should I be saving, or is this the time of life to just spend?
Yeah.
Like, honestly, guys.
Should I live at home? Should I live with friends? Should I live on my own?
The questions are relentless. And I think what is key in this episode, in this title, is the use of the word should. So often, so many of us in our 20s feel confused about what we should be doing. And I just think we need to unpack the word should.
Who is dictating?
Yeah, as in, what
should?
does that even mean?
I know.
Like, what we should be doing. So, like, for you, I guess, like, how are you defining, like, should? As in, like, for some people, I guess that looks like what your parents advise.
Yeah.
For some people, it looks like what your friends are doing. For some people, it looks like society and, like, I don't know, what, like, the government is, like, projecting as wise. Like, or where it's like, oh, like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's all these different things going on the whole time that are giving a certain opinion or narrative about how you should be doing your 20s. And like, at the age of 23, you should have this, 24 this, 25 this, 26 this. And it's like, what about just what you want to do?
Yeah, yeah. And I think that so much of, well, I guess what I've been trying to do being in my 20s is basically work out what do I actually want to do or what do I actually want my life to look like, rather than just, this is how I've seen another person do it, or this is how my parents did it, or, you know, this is kind of what the media projects as, you know, a normal trajectory of life through your 20s, because, you know, when you get to your 30s, that's when you should be settled down by that point. And almost sometimes feels like the 20s is like the prep to get into the 30s. Like, if you want to have the family, if you want to have the house, if you want to have the job, then this is the time to almost get all those things in order. So then you go into your 30s and you've got all this, you know, setup of like married and I can have kids and a house that I can, you know, do up and build a family in, and a like, job that I can invest in and get a stable income from. And it's like, but why?
But like, literally at the same time, the other narrative is like, go wild,
blow it all,
go and travel, because then you'll settle down in your 30s. Like, that's another really strong narrative. Like, go and see the world, like, go and live in different places, go and explore to then settle down.
Yeah.
So it's like, even with each narrative, like, they're equally as strongly pushed as each other and they're just like opposing.
Yeah. But I think it's, like I was saying, it's about what do you actually want? Because, you know, you could be told, yeah, do the traveling thing, you know, just use all your money to just live your best life and all of that, which is great. And like, if you genuinely want to do that, then that's an amazing thing to do. But don't get like swept up in just doing that because that's what you've been told. Oh, I should in my 20s be living this crazy lifestyle. It's like, yeah, but if you don't want to do that, then you don't have to. And also, like, who's to say that you couldn't do that when you're 30, 40 or 50? Like, I think that's it. It's almost like there's this bubble, or like this almost kind of, you've got this window of time, use it well, because, you know, once it's gone, and you can never do any of these things again once you're out of it. And it's like, why?
Like, why can I travel at 35? And it's like, you might have a family. Again, why can't you travel? You can travel like a baby. You can.
Yeah.
Like, it's not maybe the most convenient, but like,
but
you could if you want.
I think if you really want to do stuff, then you'll do it.
Yeah.
And you don't have to feel this, or I think what I've had to tell myself is, you don't have to feel this like pressure to do everything now because this is the window, this is the moment, this is the chance. When actually life, you know, is long, and there's many more opportunities, I'm sure, that will come in the future when you can do a lot of these things. So you don't have to feel like you have to cram everything into like a 5-year window.
There's just so many thoughts and feelings to navigate, because I guess almost the flip side of it is like, sometimes you don't even know what you want.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's all good being like, guys, just back yourself, do what you want. And it's like, well, I don't actually know what I want.
Yeah.
Part of me wants to go and see the world, but then part of me wants to stay with my friends and do my job and, you know, earn money. And then part of me, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think for so many people as well. And like, even in the last year, I've definitely struggled with that of like, I don't even know what I want. And all I've wanted to know is what I want.
Yeah.
Like, I've just been like looking at people around me who, you know, have known, oh, I want to like, I've always wanted this career and I'm like on this track to, you know, do that. Or like, all I've ever wanted is to like have a baby, and they're like married and like gonna have a baby. Or like, all I've ever wanted to do is just go off and backpack, and they're doing that. And I'm like, oh, like, I wish I could just know what I want to do. Like, I think that is like another whole part of it where, again, like, you go from being at school, 18, you do uni, and then you come out of uni and you are just suddenly expected to know who you are and what you want. But like, I think you just almost have to reshape your thinking and narrative of like, use the 20s to find that out, rather than like, I should feel this now.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it's like the perfect time frame of like, yeah, I don't know what I want. I don't really know like who I am or what I'm really passionate about, but like, that's okay. And actually, why not use this time to just try and work that out? Like, try different things, like not get annoyed with yourself if you know, do something and then you're like, oh, I don't actually like that, but be like, that's okay, cool. I know I don't really want to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, like, I'll try this thing. Oh, I don't really want to do that either. Oh, I liked this part of that. And like, it almost being like these experimental years of like learning and growing, and like just and like using it and viewing it as like, this is going to teach me really important things about myself and just about life, and I'm going to learn things, and it's not going to be wasted time.
Yeah, that's it. It's like learning opportunities, isn't it? Because that's the thing, you get flung out of, I mean, if you go to uni, like school, uni, whatever it is, you kind of just get like left, like you finish, and then it's like, right, now go and be an adult. And you're like, what? You've had so much structure put around you for those years where you've basically just been told, go to these lessons, this is your timetable, and you don't even really have to think loads about what do I want to do in the future, because there's so much stuff going on day to day that you can just kind of, you know, plod along through it. And then you get on the other side of it and you're just left like, well, this is how I felt. I was just a bit like, who am I? Like, I've just spent however many years in school or education, and then you're kind of almost looking at yourself without the degree that you did, or the subjects that you picked, or the time that you would spend at school. You're like, okay, like, who am I and what do I want to do?
Just that tiny question.
Because I could kind of do anything.
Yeah. Like, it's like the excitement of like, the world's my oyster. And I think that's how I started like leaving uni. I was like, or I've had those moments of like, oh my gosh, I could do anything and feeling genuine excitement. But what's so interesting is like you find yourself in that situation, you're like sick. And then within a few weeks, months, whatever, it becomes really stressful. And it's like, no.
Because you do have to pick something.
Yeah. But like, how can we just continue to view it as exciting rather than like, because, you know, like I like we filmed a YouTube video on this and I remember saying like, I've lost like all excitement at the prospect of like, I can do anything. And instead I just feel so stressed about trying to work out what it is. And it's almost just like, what if it's less about trying to work out what it is and just more regaining that excitement again and being like, I'll just try something.
Yeah.
Like I've always kind of wanted to try this or like go here. I'll just go and try it. And that's fine. Like, and like almost like trying to like view it more from the lens of like excitement and possibility than like stress and anxiety.
And I mean, something that I've kind of told myself that's been really helpful is like nothing's forever. You could do a job. Have you signed a 10-year contract? Like, no, probably not. Like you could leave. If you move somewhere, don't like it, you could move back. If you go traveling, book a ticket home. Like it's like nothing is forever. So if you try all these things or try something and it's not feeling right, then it's like, cool, I've learned that I don't really like that. And it's not, again, you've not failed. It's not, like I'm useless, I'm rubbish because I went and tried to do this thing and I couldn't finish it. It's like, it's fine. Like,
yeah. And also that's not even just a 20s thing. That's a life thing. Because I think this is a different topic, but even older than that, it's like if you move somewhere and you buy a house somewhere and you don't actually end up liking it, that's okay. You can at some point then try and move somewhere else. Like, it's like, I just think so often we put these pressures and restraints and rules on ourselves. And it's like even the thing of like, oh, well, if I do this job, I probably should stick at it for 2 years. It's like, why?
Yeah. But what about, okay, I guess like stuff like jobs or moving places, that's very much within your control. But then I do think another pressure or could be another pressure in the 20s is stuff like around relationships, dating, families, like you're going to have kids, get married, like that is in some ways out of your control in the sense of like you can put yourself out, you can put yourself out there, but you know, it's not like if I go and book a flight to Colombia, then I'm going to Colombia like that. Do you know what I mean? Where it's like I'm controlling whether that happens or not. And I think sometimes that's another difficult thing where maybe you do really have a desire to have a family, get married, or, you know, be in a relationship, live with a partner, whatever it is. And you can't control really whether that comes to fruition. And so you're kind of just left like, I really want this thing, but I don't have it. And a lot of people around me maybe do have it. And that just feels like difficult.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's almost, again, like the expectation versus reality of the 20s where like you did just kind of have these like times growing up where you visioned yourself, I don't know, 26 with kids or like 26 married or, you know, when you're growing up and you think like, oh, well, 25 just sounds so old and I will have met like the person I want to be with by then. And like you say, there can just be like the sadness and the acknowledgement of like, I haven't, and like, cool. But it's like, what can you do? It is out of your control.
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, you can go on a dating app and date someone random and marry them, but like, you don't want to do that. Like, you want to be with the person that you really want to be with, and like, that is out of your control.
Yeah.
And it is just savage where it's like, I think there's things you can do that can increase your chances where it's like, oh, like, be
like
around single people.
There.
Yeah. But ultimately it's like,
yeah. Yeah. I think a big thing is almost just trying to, I do think comparison is a big thing and actually trying to, as much as you can, not, and I know it's so hard, like I really struggle sometimes with comparison, but I do just think that the more you can just look at your own life and think, okay, what am I grateful for? What do I have great that's going on in my life? Stuff that, you know, is is life-giving or, you know, stuff that I'm happy about, and not just constantly look to, oh, but they have that. Or even compare yourself to almost a reality that you'd made up in your head. Like, I don't think sometimes it's not even always just other people, but almost you're comparing your current life now to a made up life that you had for yourself.
Well, expectation.
The expectation. Yeah, it's that whole expectation versus reality thing. And yeah, as much as you can, or this is what I try and do, is just think, yeah, but I can't, like, that is out of my control. So literally it's a waste of my time to work. I mean, that's putting it very bluntly, but like, it is a waste of my time to sit and worry and just try and like waste all this mental energy on this thing. It's not going to change anything. Like,
yeah, exactly. Like, there's nothing you can do. But I think, like you say, there are just some fundamental factors you can't control, where it's like getting married or things like that. But there are factors that you can focus on in the meantime.
Yeah.
And even like we're saying, where it's like actually just trying to work out, okay, with all expectation and ideas of what I should or shouldn't be doing removed, what do I care about? What do I want to do? And like I'm saying, you might be there like, I don't know, but you will know one tiny thing. Like, even if it's literally as simple as like, oh, I've just always wanted to like see this country, or oh, I've always wanted to try that skill, or like start that club, or like I've always been intrigued in this field of work, and you have one meeting with someone who works in that field of work. Like, there are little things or little dreams that I think we all have, and it's just about trying to work out what they are, and then letting go of any pressure that you are feeling. And I think even just in that, it's also remembering, like, as cringe as it is, like, life is quite short, where it's like, we're already 24. I was going to say 25. And it's like, we're already midway through our 20s.
Yeah.
And it's like, there will be certain things that you can step out and try that you're never going to look back and regret doing. Like, I don't think you're going to look back and go, oh, why did I try that thing?
Yeah.
Like, when like actually you've always wanted to try it, or you've always wanted to go there. It's like when you just think through the lens of like, I've actually got limited time on this earth, and there are things in me and like skills that I have and dreams that I have that I'd love to, you know, go after, and like just kind of try to let go of anyone else's opinion on that.
Yeah, I think it's like taking hold of life, isn't it? It's like, rather than letting life happen to you, where you're just kind of, I don't know, you've somehow ended up in this job and you're like, I don't really like it. And oh, every night I'm just, you know, doing stuff I don't want to be. Do you know what I mean? Where you're just kind of existing and all this stuff's happening around you. And like you said, I think it's like almost looking at the projection of your life and thinking, where do I want my life to go? What do I actually want to do? Which takes some intentional thought. Like, these things don't just happen on their own, do they? You have to like, you know, be intentional about going after it. But yeah, like taking hold of life. And yeah, if it is even as small as, oh, I've always wanted to try pottery making. Yeah. Like, okay, go and book a pottery making. Yeah. Like, but it sounds small, but like that's actually like, oh, that's something I want to do. Or I know that making stuff is really enjoyable for me and it brings life to me. So that's what I'll spend my time doing.
YOLO, baby.
But I think even for me, a massive thing that's been helpful is like seeing that other people find the 20s really hard. And I think I'd say that I only felt like that in the last year, where I feel like more people have spoken about the 20s is just a really difficult time, friendship wise, work wise, relationship wise, like all these areas of your life. It can just feel like there's a big question mark. Like, I saw this TikTok the other day and I was like, this kind of just sums it up, doesn't it? But it basically says being in your 20s is like, I'm so young, but I'm so old. I should do everything. I should rest. I can do what I want, but I need to be careful. I'm an adult, but I need help from an adult.
Oh, gosh.
That's a big one. I'm so smart, but I feel so stupid. I'm leaving and I feel left behind. I want to be a kid again and I can't wait to be old. I've done a lot and yet I've done nothing. I want to be alone, but I feel so lonely. I feel like it's just this constant like back and forth of you just feel in the middle of everything. I feel like.
Yeah.
Like,
it's this really awkward age.
Yeah.
Like even like you say, the adult one, like I am now an adult, but I'm still ringing my dad to find out like, I don't know, like there's an issue and I ring my dad. Like, so I'm not really an adult, am I?
Yeah.
Like, but you are. But I guess it must just get to the point in life where you are old enough and skilled enough that you do fully move into the next category of
I
like...
don't know though, because I know people that are older than me that still
ring their dad.
Yeah. Like in a crisis, they'll like ring their parents, like, or, you know, they're ill and they'll be like, oh, mum, I'm just going to come.
But that does stop at some point.
I don't know.
Actually, to be fair,
like,
even when I think about it, like...
It stops at some point, yeah, because if it gets to the point when your
fragile
parents...
and elderly.
When you're having to look after your parents. But that's probably quite a lot later on. I'm talking about even people in their 30s and 40s are still like...
advice,
reliant on their parent, would want advice or
need help with childcare.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Stuff like that. Yeah, it's so true.
But like, I think that there's this thing again of like, that's wrong. It's not wrong. It's fine. And it's actually okay that like one day you feel really capable and then the next day you're like, I don't. That's fine. But I think it can feel confusing because you want to almost just be able to box yourself into...
I'm either an adult or I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that is never really a reality for anyone.
I mean, I feel like those kind of comparisons just sum up like oh, I'm so young, but I'm so old. I'm stupid, but I'm smart. Like all these things, like it just sums up the overall energy of the 20s of like, who am I and what do I want to do?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's just such a moment of trying to work out like your identity basically and who you are.
Yeah.
Like, oh, like even like I've had so many chats with friends and stuff where it's like them like learning things about their personalities or like where it's like, oh, I thought I was like this, but I'm actually not. Or like, oh, I've
labeled myself
realized,
as,
like I've grown up thinking like I'm really like this and I've just realized like I'm not.
Yeah.
Or like I've changed, or even the whole like premise of like you growing up and your relationship changes with your parents where you realize like they're not perfect and like you're not a kid anymore and you can disagree with them and blah 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 and like it's like there's just so many like realizations that you have and it's just quite overwhelming.
Yeah.
Like that's how I would describe the 20s, overwhelming.
Yeah, because I think you're just learning a lot about yourself and I think that is actually what is distinct about the 20s. Not that you stop when you get older, but I do think that it's probably more intense than it ever will be in your 20s, just like all the things that you're kind of discovering, like you say, about yourself, about who you are, what you want to do. And again, not that that ends when you get to 30, but I do think it's like quite a condensed, intense period of that.
Yeah. So yeah, really simple, really easy time of life to navigate. Yeah. But I think overall, I would just say two main things that I've been trying to do, or I've been trying to be doing, don't really know the grammar there, is like, firstly, what, like letting go of any kind of expectations and what I should or shouldn't be doing. And then also trying to view this time of life as like exciting rather than stressful.
Yeah.
And like there are going to be loads of stressful moments, but overall it's exciting that I get to try and work things out as opposed to this is the worst thing ever, because I do think I'll look back and be like, that was a really unique, fun season of life that I could try things and I could go wherever and just why not? Like just do it.
Yeah. As Nike says, just do it.
As that well-known brand.
And the sponsor of today's video is Nanette.
We wish.
Yeah, gosh. 20s.
What would be your one line?
Have fun. Your law.
Brilliant. Well, on that note, is that what you want to say?
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, hope you enjoyed these chats.
Yeah.
The 20s. Let us know your thoughts, feelings. Hopefully people can relate. I'm sure we'll do another podcast episode on this as well.
Oh yeah, many
in
more.
A bit more detail or different topics. So let us know if there's something specific you would want us to chat about.
Yeah. But we'll leave it there for today.
we'll leave it there for today.
And we will see you soon.
And we will see you soon.
And we will see you soon. Bye, guys.
Bye.